Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Friday, October 30th. I am AJ Gels, and this is the 11th Hour Gaming Channel. This is also episode 4. If you're new to the channel, I do kind of a breakdown of the weekly news in the gaming community every week on Friday. Sorry, I am recording this at like midnight on Thursday, so I'm beat and I'm drinking coffee and trying to stay awake. I break down the weekly news every week for you guys here. I also do game reviews and whatnot on my website, which is in the description down below, along with links to my Facebook and other social media, Twitter account. I'm sorry, like I said, I'm really tired. All those links are in the description below, and starting sometime late next week, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm finally getting the equipment I need for video capturing and should be able to start doing Let's Plays as long as I can figure out the tech. I'm sorry. All that should be starting to go up next week. My plan is I'm going to kind of use Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I know I'm about a week or so late, but I'm gonna kind of try and use that game as a kind of like a test. And my first real big series will be Fallout 4 on November 10th. Super excited for that game. Everything's looking really cool for that and whatnot. I think that's all the housekeeping that I have for this week, so I'm going to jump right in the news, and usually my show's a lot more organized if you're new. If not, thank you for coming back. And also, I don't know why. But yeah, if you're new, I usually start with some tech stuff and then kind of drop right into the news, but mostly because it was Paris Games Week this week, with especially with Sony's press conferences, a lot of announcements, a lot of news and whatnot. So there's a lot of stuff this week, so things might be a little hectic on the show. So just gonna kind of jump right in and start with the Xbox One experience and the backwards compatibility release date. We've known about backwards compatibility and the new overhaul to the Xbox One. The dashboard, the OS, everything, all the stuff's being added, and this will be out on November 12th. And also with a kind of a new announcement, Criterion Games, the creators of the Burnout series, have made the announcement that Burnout Paradise will be backwards compatible with the Xbox One. On the other side, in Sony spacing, PS4 is currently outpacing the PS2, and if it's unknown, I believe still to this day that the PS2 is the highest selling console ever. That might have been overshadowed by the Wii, the original Wii, not the Wii U, but I'm pretty sure the PS2 still holds the throne, but the PS4 is still currently looking at overtaking the PS2, I believe, with 4 million 4 million units sold in the last 4 months, and this is before the price cuts that had just been announced, and that is up from 3.3 million from the same period of last year. And this still makes I can't read my own notes, 29.3 million for the console's lifetime. This is way above the 24.99 million the PS2 sold in the same time frame. The expected sales for the PS4 have gone up for this year from 16.5 million to 17.5 million, and last year sold a grand total of 14.8 million. Fantastic article about this, has all the numbers, a little more in-depth analysis from Luke Kamali from IGN. Go out, check that out, really good. If you don't know, I also promote IGN a lot. I'm a big fan of what they do. There is a limited time Xbox One with Kinect bundle for sale, and this will be $399 US. Or you can buy the Kinect separate for $99. Why? I don't know. I mean, I've not heard good things about the Kinect. I mean, right now I'm at PS4, but when I get my Xbox One, I'm not shelling out the extra for the Kinect. I don't like the Kinect. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't know. Yeah, if you like the Kinect, if you have some, tell me something I don't know. I don't know. You know, I'm not a huge fan of the voice activation and the move stuff. But you know, I mean, if you have any opinions on that, feel free, go down in the comments below. And if you have, and on that note, if you have comments about anything on my show, what you'd like to hear more about, what you'd like to see me do, and whatnot, please go into the comments below and tell me. And I should have put that at the beginning of the show, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep moving on with. I know I keep going back between Sony and Microsoft, but Sony has confirmed that first-party development has stopped for the PlayStation Vita, which is kind of sad. I really like what the Vita has done. It's had a lot of interesting ideas. You know, it's basically Sony's. I believe has already announced that they've pretty much stopped first-party support. Now there's just all the development has basically just been shifted over to focus on the PS4 side, which makes sense. You know, I think that's the big moneymaker, and from a business side, it makes sense. I just wish I don't know. There were a lot of mistakes that were done with the creation, the marketing, all that with the Vita. I hope to see. I don't know. The third-party development is still a thing. There's plenty of indie stuff coming out for it. You know, it'll be interesting to see where the Vita goes from now on. Also, again, still with Sony, Sony has added a wish list to the PSN store. This is similar to Steam's wish list. In function and what it is. I mean, that's. Now again, I'm gonna flip-flop back over again. Eric Neustadter. I'm sorry, that's an interesting name. He is now leaving Microsoft, and this is and he played a. Played a big role with the Xbox Live as an architect and as what's the exact title? Operations manager. I believe he was also the first person to have an Xbox Live, gamer tag. I believe it is E, lowercase, just E. Really interesting. No reason as to why he's left after, I'm trying to remember the exact numbers, I want to say 18 years with Microsoft and 14 of them with Xbox. No reasons are gone yet, but I highly doubt Eric's watching. Eric will watch this, but if he comes across it, best of luck with your future endeavors and whatnot. Sorry. I ran across this on IGN, this article by Cassidy Moser. This necessarily, I don't think it's, I wouldn't call it gaming news, but I found it really funny. And it's a story about a boy who convinced his parents to buy him Grand Theft Auto 5 with a PowerPoint presentation. The article, really funny, has pictures of the actual presentation. Is really funny. I've never heard of a kid actually, I've seen, jokes about something similar to this on, sitcoms, but I've never heard of a kid in real life doing something like this. Really interesting. Although I think you'd have an easier case if you weren't, I don't know, trying to get Grand Theft Auto. And I'm not one of the guys who's constantly sitting, I'm in favor of the ESRB, but I'm not a fan of the, we have to follow the ESRB, because it's more of a guideline as opposed to a hard, you have to be this age to play this, because I think it's a little conservative there, what they, what gets what rating. I think I still remember, the Jack games being T because there's tobacco use, and it's really that couldn't get E10. Little, I know kids who parents smoke and they know what it is. It's just a little ridiculous, but I don't know, interesting little story there. Gamefreak, the developers of the just a little known game series, everybody knows of Pokemon. Yeah, that's it. a tiny little franchise there, has purchased the mobile studio Koa Games. That could be Koa, it could be KOA. I apologize. I do not know my Japanese mobile studios that well. No idea what this is. I don't believe I'm pretty sure Gamefreak has no connection with the new Pokemon. I believe Pokemon Go coming out for mobile, and this has nothing to do with that. But this could be the first step into something that I really want, and that is a Pokemon game on my iPhone. I would love it for that to happen. Also coming out of Japan, there's an update coming for November 4th for Super Mario Maker. This will involve, I believe, one of the biggest, just some quality of life inside the game. One is, I believe, mid-level checkpoints, and whatnot in the game. I know Super Mario Maker is extremely popular out there. Really looking good, sales-wise. Good for the Wii U, because I know the Wii U's sales have not been super high recently. Staying with Nintendo, Eiji Aonuma, I believe this is how it's pronounced. He's a producer for Nintendo and working with the new Zelda game, Skyward Sword. Sorry. He has responded to a lot of people, some fan response to Skyward Sword, saying this isn't the Zelda game that they necessarily wanted, stating that the world wasn't big enough. Yet Aonuma has said that he wants to put a unique twist into this Zelda game's open world. I believe this game's coming out Q2 next year. I believe it's Q2. I believe that. I'm pretty sure it's Q2. I'm sorry. I know my head's a little everywhere this week. It was similar to last week. Sorry about all this. Moving on. Tekken 7 has been announced for the PlayStation VR, and will also have exclusive content on PlayStation. Sticking with fighting games, though, Street Fighter V has its release date. There's been a lot of talks recently about the open betas and whatnot for Street Fighter V, but the release date has finally been set at February 16th. A couple games have just gone gold, being Just Cause 3 and Need for Speed. It's really interesting for Just Cause to go gold already, mostly because the game's coming out December 1st. The development's already wrapped up, and it's all... I always forget if going gold means it's the discs have been printed, discs are made, everything's ready to ship, but I believe it just means it's finished development. Really interested to see where both those games go. I wouldn't expect a Need for Speed review from me. I would say expect a... Oh, come on, where am I? I'm sorry. Just Cause 3 review. With these big open world games, do not expect them from me on the day they come out. I don't get copies early, mostly because I'm known. I think my highest number of views have been 13. So tell your friends, expose the channel. Moving on. No Man's Sky has earlier this week was shooting down ideas that they were gonna have kind of like a secret, hey, guess what? You can play the game today release. But it turns out No Man's Sky was right to shoot down these claims, mostly because the game has its release window has been set for June of 2016. If you don't know what No Man's Sky is an open world survival game from Hello Games. It features procedurally generated planets with unique wild and plant life. I believe this is very similar to the game Spore. Really interested to see what that is. I know I don't think it's exclusive for PlayStation VR, but I know it's going to have a big amount of support for it. Minecraft Story Mode Episode 2 from Telltale Games. Earlier this week, kind of had a day and date, announcement / release. They just kind of came out on Twitter, said it's out. So, big. I know a lot of people big fans of Minecraft. I'm hearing that the story mode for Minecraft is going really well, which I still find it so weird that this is being done by Telltale Games. After I'm gonna say their darker games. Like Wolf Among Us and oh come on, Walking Dead, Game of Thrones. All really good games. I'm sure Telltale's doing a fantastic job with it. Moving on though, Hard West, a game coming out on November 4th for PC, has kind of been called, if you know what it is, kind of like a reskin of XCOM. Though I believe Fire Axis game. Come on, 2 years ago, I believe it was. Yeah, a big turn-based strategy, isometric view. They're very similar games, but just a tad different. I've seen some gameplay. It's got an interesting look to it. Really interested to see what that game's gonna give to us in a couple weeks. Moving on, a few more things that were announced at Paris Games Week, the Sony conference. Big game that I was super interested. Sorry, let me rephrase. I wasn't super interested until I saw the trailer. Like, I kind of heard inklings about this game, but as soon as I saw the trailer, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to play this. And it is a new Quantic Dreams game, and Quantic Dreams is the studio behind the very popular PS3 game, Heavy Rain, and even though I liked it, the not so popular Beyond Two Souls, which yes, both of those games have been confirmed to be coming to the PS4. We still don't have a date for those. Really wish we did. But no, Detroit Become Human looks really cool. Obviously, the game is set in Detroit, hence the title, where the player will be taking the role as Kara, an android. The game's all about, kind of like these, like you create androids and it kind of reminds me of the movie Surrogate. I mean, I don't know how close to that movie it's going to be. But it looks really cool, like she apparently like escapes and, she's trying to kind of like figure out the world, it's like, it's all shot from like the entire, trailer was shot from behind, like from the, it's like the back of her head forward. You're seeing all this kind of experiencing it with her, it's like it starts raining and she's like, kind of like, well, what is this? Experiencing this world. And near the end of the trail, you're kind of seeing what it's like for all the androids in Detroit. And then, right there right near the end, she's kind of walking by all these, these androids, and they just kind of keep turning and looking at her going like, why, because she's kind of just walking on her own. She's not, being controlled or anything by anyone. She's just kind of by herself. And at in the very last moment, she turns, you get a nice shot of her face. She says a few words, turns again the other direction, and all the androids, not cyborgs, have these like little like rings like right there on their temples. This little blue thing, that she turns, you get a nice big shot of it, and she walks back into the crowd. Really well shot, very well done. It looks fantastic. For a second, I thought it was a live action trailer at the very beginning, but at the very end said rendered in-game engine, and I'm very excited if that's true. Unfortunately, there has been no announced release date or anything. I really, really, really wish there was. I'm super excited about this. It's probably going to be another, at least I hope it's going to be another one of those story-driven choice games. I'm super excited. I think I've said that about 4 times. I can't get over how cool it looked. And if it was all shot in engine, this game could be coming sooner than we think. I remember having a similar reaction when I saw the Fallout 4, kind of the teaser trailer before E3 when they came out and said, here's Fallout 4, it's gonna be a thing. And then at the end, because I remember watching it with some of my buddies, and we're just like, I was expecting like a CG trailer, but I'm like, this looks really in engine. Which it's really weird, it turns out, and how comes Todd Howard nails it at E3, comes out and announces, they've been working on Fallout 4, here's some of the features, and you can play it this upcoming November, and I was with a bunch of my friends, we just flipped shit. It was so cool when that got announced. And I'm really looking forward to what this game is going to be. I'm sorry. Oh, come on. What next? There was another game. I forgot to put a note into my notes. I believe another PS4 exclusive that we're going to be seeing is a game called Wild. Really, really interesting game. Done by. Give me a second. I'm gonna kind of talk and look something up at the same time. Really, really super interesting game. Takes place, obviously, out in the wild. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry about this. I'm trying to look up what studio is doing this game, and sorry, I record on my phone. I'm using my girlfriend's phone to try and hunt this down, and her phone is terribly, terribly unorganized. Alright. Terribly sorry about that. I'm gonna just try and pull it up here on my computer. I'm so sorry about this. I don't want the movie. PS4. Oh, come on. What is the studio's name? I'm sorry. I apologize. It's just it's really important to me. I want to give the studio its credit for what it is. Come on, Wild Sheep Studio. There we go. Can't believe that was so hard for me to come up with. But it looks really interesting. It's going to be an action adventure game. It looks like you play as a shaman. It looks super interesting. Very different kind of game than I think what we're used to. You see him, you see the main character, kind of running around. He calls like a giant bear and rides on its back. He somehow is like seeing through the eyes of an eagle to try and find. I believe it's a snake. Goes to an area, like summons like the divinity, the spirit of the snake, and it's like this giant woman, like half snake woman, starts talking to him, and that's where you get like a challenge, and then you complete the challenge and you get the power, something with the power of the snake. Looks super interesting. All this was set off. There's a girl who had a snake bite in her arm. It looks very, very primitive, very interesting setting. Just something that it looks really, really cool. I'm super interested to see what this is. In a weird way, I think if this year was with all these big games, we had a new Batman, we had The Witcher 3, obviously we had there's my brain is just fried right now. Come on. Obviously, like every year, there's a new Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed game, but there's also the new Fallout. We had like a lot of huge blockbuster games come out this year. And I think, if this was the year for the huge blockbusters, I think next year we're going to see a lot of, I want to say kind of more artistic games that are, these kind of these weird, like No Man's Sky. Like I just mentioned, Wild looks really interesting. I think Detroit Become Human is going to be a very cerebral experience. Super interested to see what these games are going to come out and do. I don't know if Become Human and Wild both have no announced release date, but of what I've seen of both of them, if they're already doing in-game engine trailers and doing and with Wild, I saw some gameplay. I'm gonna guess the games probably. I'm gonna go on a line saying I'm gonna guess both of them second half of next year. Off that little tangent now. Until Dawn has a new game announced. I'm just really sad that it's what I'm about to talk about. Until Dawn, Rush of Blood has been announced. It is a PlayStation VR roller coaster experience set in a horror theme park. Why? I get super excited when I read the tagline of this. You know, like Until Dawn, Rush of Blood announced. You know, I was thinking, is this DLC for Until Dawn? Is this going to be a new game done by Supermassive Games? I believe is the dev. You know, are we going to see are we going to see another one by the studio? And I was super excited. And then as soon as I read PSVR roller coaster experience, I was like, I literally, like, I was like, my excitement just went here to, I mean, I cannot tell you how disappointed I am about this. Of what I saw, it's like if anybody remembers that game Pokemon Snap, I think it was like that the photography game on the N64 where you rode around in, like, I think a Pokeball and you took pictures of Pokemon. Yeah, it was kind of interesting, but I'm like, really a roller coaster game with Until Dawn? That's just it just seems really weird. There's some shooting and it looks really dumb. I'm gonna go on the record and just say it looks dumb. Christ. I guess moving on, getting away from that, because I don't want to be depressed about that anymore. The Battleborn open beta has been announced it is going to be released on PlayStation 4 first. We do not have specific dates. I believe the release is this upcoming February. But we have no specific dates for when the beta is going to be. All we know is that it will be on PlayStation 4 first. If you don't know what Battleborn really is, as far as I understand, it is going to be like a first-person online shooter, but with MOBA elements. You know, MOBA being, you know, like Dota and League of Legends. I think this could work. You know, super interested. You know, see where the hell they're going with that one. Gravity Rush 2 has been announced for North America. Gravity Rush 2 obviously being the sequel to Gravity Rush, the PS Vita exclusive. I believe that was a launch title. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a launch title. Sorry about that. Along with this announcement that Gravity Rush 2 is coming to North America, we just don't have a date yet. The original remastered is coming in February for $29.99 US, digital download only. I found this fairly interesting. You know, I'm a guy, I hate Toys to Life and Amiibo and whatnot. I think they're kind of dumb, but, you know, I guess, yeah, what. But I guess they're dumb to me. You know, I know people who like them, and, you know, and the toys are cute, I guess. But Nintendo has apparently announced that they have shipped, not sold, but shipped 21.1 million Amiibos, and a majority of them, I believe, are for Yoshi's Woolly World. Why are, you know, a majority of them also being sold to North America? Where I'm like, why are we buying these? But, you know, the super popular kind of game. You know, good for Nintendo. Got to make their money back from the Wii U debacle. And if you don't know what I mean by Wii U debacle, I mean the fact that the Wii U just isn't been selling. I mean, no offense to Nintendo. It looks like Mirror's Edge Catalyst, originally slated, and note I say the words originally, for February 23rd, along with Deus Ex Mankind Divided, yeah, and the recently announced Far Cry Primal. And, you know, I've been saying for a while that one of those games are gonna have to give, because, you know, 3 big games coming out on February 23rd. That's one of those is gonna have to kind of like back down and say, yeah, we're not gonna, you know, come out on this day. Personally, my money was on the boat of I put my money on Far Cry Primal, not 3, Far Cry Primal dropping back, just because I thought that was just like really soon for a Far Cry game, but it turns out Mirror's Edge Catalyst is going to be dropping back to May 24th. EA has announced that this is to optimize the experience for the players. Mostly, I believe the exact quote was something along the lines of, as soon as the player steps into the city of glass, the city of glass to experience phase life, that they just have the best experience possible, which I'm super okay with. I was a real big fan of the original Mirror's Edge. I think it had a lot of rough edges, but I think like a really solid game was there that just didn't get the credit that it necessarily deserved. Really interested to see what Catalyst is going to do in May of next year. Then I guess my last thing. Batman Arkham Knight is now back up on Steam after a 4-month absence. It was pulled down because right after its launch in June, the PC version of Arkham Knight was having tons of just bugs and glitches, a lot of big problems. And it is now up, and there's a sale deal going on in Steam right now. Is if you buy Arkham Knight before November 16th, you also get the Game of the Year editions, meaning the game plus all the DLC for Arkham Asylum, Arkham Asylum, City, and Arkham Origins. So that's really interesting. Well, okay, I guess it's being done by Steam, not by Rocksteady. But, you get the other 3 games for free, along with Arkham Knight, as long as this purchase is before November 16th. This, like I said, was removed due to issues on the PC that, unfortunately, are still there. Warner Brothers has announced that they overlooked 2 big issues, and they are currently in the works of fixing them, though the game is still up on Steam. There are 2 fantastic articles, one on gamasutra.com, go check that out, and one on IGN. Both fantastically written. I suggest go check them out. Gamasutra, not something I found recently. Really interesting website, really good news. I follow their Twitter. A lot of stuff. They put a lot of stuff up on Twitter. Follow them. Really cool. I guess my final topic, I'm gonna try and go out on a light note. Really, this really interested me when I saw this. Apparently, Bethesda has teamed up with Carlsberg, UK, to create Fallout beer. I really wish I lived in England right now. I'm sorry, the UK. I'm American, obviously. Because apparently on Amazon UK, starting from November 5th, you can purchase Fallout Vault-Tec inspired beer. Super excited. As soon as I'm going to check sometime today that if I can get that shipped over to America, which I highly doubt. Although if you are an American and want a Fallout inspired beverage, Bethesda also teamed up. I can't speak. Also teamed up with the Jones Soda Company to produce Nuka-Cola Quantum. Now if you've played the Fallout games before, it's an in-game beverage of a different variety of just normal Nuka-Cola. Nuka-Cola Quantum will be sold exclusively at Target the same day as Fallout 4 is released on November 10th. That's about all I have for you this week, and wow, actually, that did not take anywhere near as long as I thought this would. I'm trying to think back to the beginning of this episode. If you like this video, and I'm sorry if you didn't, because I'm off my game this week. But if you like this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave me comments. If you have any opinions on anything I talked about today, or what I could do to make the videos better. What can I do to make you come back? Why do how'd you find me? Or what can I do to make sure you come back? And please just drop those. I'm super interested to get feedback that I just haven't gotten yet. Like I said, I should start the Let's Plays on my channel should start popping up sometime late next week, early the week after. Along with that, in the description below, check me out on Facebook. Like the page, follow me on Twitter. Check out my website. Sometime by the time you're watching this on Friday, I'll have another thing up on my website, my opinions on Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and I'll just throw this in here now. Fantastic game. Sorry about that. Like I said, like, follow, subscribe. Find me on social media. Again, like and follow all that. Thank you so much for watching. I'm AJ Gales. This is the 11th Hour Gaming Channel, and I'm out.